It's that time again. It's time for another patron-requested movie review. And damn, how did I miss this movie? EVERLY is brought to us by director Joe Lynch and stars Selma Hayek, Hiroyuki Watanabe, and Aki Katobi. A kidnapped woman faces down hitmen sent by a mob boss and her captor while trying to protect her family from his wrath. So this review comes via a request from one of my top tier bad motherfucking Patreons, Silverlock. For those of you unaware, one of the perks of my top tier patrons is that they get to once a month request of me to review one movie of their choice. And this time it is 2014's EVERLY. So EVERLY is a movie that I've heard of like just in name, but knew nothing about. I knew that it came out. I knew the box art with Selma Hayek sitting there with the gun and all that. I was aware of it, but for whatever reason, I knew absolutely nothing about it beyond the name, and I had never seen it. So going into the movie, I was a bit excited. I do like to experience new types of films. And my man Silverlock had told me that it was a really cool movie. Though I do have people tell me that movies are really cool all the time, and then I see them and not so much. But in the case of EVERLY, holy fuck, this movie was badass. Now this movie's got a tone, a certain kind of tone. It's a bit over the top, a bit unrealistic, a bit crazy. It's very smoking aces or shoot 'em up. It has a biting sense of humor to go along with its badass action and hardcore violence, and I kind of loved every minute of it. Now let's be real, this movie is not real deep. It is about Selma Hayek's character EVERLY, and she is more or less a prostitute, but I think for just this one mob boss and his people. She's been confined to this really big apartment some floors up in a building in some city out there for about the past 5 years. We don't really know why or how he got her, but we get the feeling that she got involved with this whole world by accident and she's been held against her will all that time. She also has a daughter that lives with her mother that she's never met. And after all this time of being abused, she has now decided EVERLY ain't putting up with this shit anymore and EVERLY wants out. So one night she fights back, and then the mob boss and all of his people, well, they start fighting back as well. And what we get is an over-the-top, insane action film that takes place entirely in this one apartment. Now you might be saying to yourself, how big and over-the-top could this action be if it's all in this one apartment? And believe me, it could be very big and lots of action and very over-the-fucking top. We go from a handful of guys in a room that she takes out to gun-wielding, psi-wielding, sword-wielding assassin prostitutes trying to kill her at every turn, SWAT teams of people coming in, eccentric masochist assassin type guys coming in with some characters with him that look like they're from Big Trouble in Little China, bazooka wielding assassins shooting her, and even a climactic sword fight. This movie is non-stop and it's pretty cool. It only comes in at about an hour and a half, and that was just the right amount of runtime because this thing is going literally from the very beginning of the film. The movie starts with her fighting back and it ends with that journey ending. Now one of the things that made the movie work really well was that it doesn't take itself too seriously. That's not to say that the movie isn't serious, but it definitely has a streak of comedy through it. It's dark comedy, like really dark comedy sometimes, but it was just the right amount of levity to balance out this ridiculous situation. The premise does not really make sense. You have more or less this prostitute who is able to take out all of these trained assassins and military types and all that over the course of this night. No, of course that doesn't make any sense. She wouldn't last any time at all, but that's part of the fun. You check your brain at the door and just go along for this ride and you'll have a good time with it. Selma Hayek is awesome in this role as this person who doesn't quite know what she's doing, but with just the right amount of luck, a bit of skill, and her determination to save and get to her daughter again gets her through many of these situations. Hayek is a badass in this movie, but she is a badass that is even surprised at her own badassery throughout the film a few times. And I like that. I like that she just wasn't a badass for badass sakes. I mean, yeah, a lot of the things she does in this movie, you're like, no fucking way that would happen. But the fact that sometimes she makes it through a situation just by chance and she acknowledges that makes her a bit more relatable. The movie's fun in that Judge Dredd 2012 kind of way. How there's not a whole lot going on in the film as far as story and whatnot, but just the whole spectacle of it all is so well done, so well put together and fun, you can't help but have a great time from beginning to end. Story-wise, this is a pretty basic damn film. She's stuck in this apartment. She's got to get out to save her daughter. That's it. But all the increasingly larger and larger obstacles that are put in front of her and the way she gets through them are so well executed in such a good time. I was never bored with this film, and I continuously thought, okay, it's gonna run out of steam anytime now, but it never did. The increasingly strange, creative, and colorful characters it throws at the screen throughout the film were a joy to watch as well. My favorite beyond Everly herself, of course, would definitely be Toga Igawa as the sadist. This whole situation with this character and what he brings to the film was just really out there and just kind of out of nowhere, but I loved it. It also gives us one of the most horrific and violent deaths in the film. Like, fuck, that was just fucked up all around. Performance-wise, everybody does what they're here to do. Everybody's fighting for their lives, they're a bit over the top, very colorful, and having a great time doing it. Now I was having a great time watching them. No Oscar contenders here, but damn it, that's not what I'm here for. I'm here for some people having a good time making this really fun movie, and that's what they gave me. I hate that I missed this movie in 2014, and I'm really surprised I hadn't heard more about it up to this point. I have a feeling it's probably been written off as just kind of a dumb action film, and it is, but man, it is a dumb, fun action film and absolutely worth checking out. Guys, Everly was a really good damn time. It was one of those movies that I turned on thinking I was only gonna watch maybe about 30 minutes, then come back and watch it, and I just couldn't turn it off. I kept watching it all the way to the end. There's not a lot story-wise here. There's not a lot going on between the ears, if you will, but damn, it is just such a well-executed action film with such a good sense of humor and sense of fun. The performances fit the tone of the film very well, and Hayek is a great protagonist to follow. It was a really fun, masterfully put together flick that is absolutely worth a rent.
All he wanted was this.
I have to return some videotape.
I'm still really surprised that we don't hear more about this movie because it was just a really good time. So if you're looking for just a fun as hell, badass action flick for the night that you're able to check your brain at the door and just have a good time with, then check out Everly one night. I think you're gonna have an awesome time with it. So there it is, guys, my review of Everly. If you enjoyed and want more content like this, hit that subscribe button and help my little channel grow. If you want to help out the channel, check out my Patreon in the description below. Become a jar and get some of the awesome benefits to go along with that, like these guys. And possibly check out my top tier and become a bad motherfucker like my man Silverluck and Marge G, where you too can request of me once a month to review any movie of your choice. If you liked what I had to say, give me a like. If not, let me know in the comments below why. And as always, stay sexy, unnamed, grimy, corrupt as hell city.
You know guns.
Dad wanted a boy.
So right after shooting this review, I was looking something up for it, and I noticed some reviews of it and some little blurbs. And the top one that I see is that this is nothing but nasty, misogynist torture porn. Well, yeah, but it was fun.